This is the Shotgun City Sheriff, the law himself, Clayton Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Kennedy, a.k.a. Mr. Anderson.
This is the young Titan, Aaron Atlas.
Hey, this is Matt Brannigan.
This is the war-bound hellhound, Bo Sword.
This is your favorite drunken pro wrestler, a.k.a. the Bud Light Brawler, Dalton Davis.
This is Lizzie Six.
This is Jake Something.
And this is the jaw-jacking, back-cracking, God created all men equal, and then he made me the sequel, Rohit Raju, and you are listening to the Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast. Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast. Hell yeah.
The Spot Show Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast? Yeah, that's right, I stuttered. Shut up.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this is the Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show.
No, don't like that. This is an independent wrestling podcast, of course, with a few pit stops along the way. As I'm fighting this couch right now, damn, I'm trying to reposition. I am one of your hosts, Jim Mint 10, Dickie Wabash, and then you, of course, have got the one-legged wonder, Michael Madrox over here. What's up, man? How we doing? We doing good?
OTC brother, the one true cripple.
The one true. So we, it has been a week. For those of you that, which I feel like most of you that listen to this probably do live in the Midwest, you know what we've been dealing with here. We've been dealing with very bad snow. So
Snowpocalypse.
So we pretty much had to, we've kind of scrambled to be able to get together here. And, we're flying by the seat of our pants. We're doing something that I absolutely hate that we do. We're recording it the day before it goes up. I usually like to have it backlogged a little bit sooner than that.
But this is dedication for our fan base right here.
This is the dedication to the fan base would have actually been if we trekked through like fucking Hugh Neutron trying to find the caribou. Cluck, 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 yeah, cluck, 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 yeah, ooh, caribou. But no, we're flying by the seat of our pants here. You know, we're just a two-man operation trying to get things going. And as you know, of course, this is a two-man operation. This is the Spot Show Podcast. Each and every week, Michael Madrox and I get together and we talk about whatever the hell it is that we want to talk about. Again, two-man operation. Our main source of support comes from you guys, the fans. And there are many ways that you can support us. The best way to do so is to go on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios. Back us at the $5 and above tier. Not only are you supporting us, but you are also going to get this show completely ad-free and early. Preferably a little bit earlier, but then the weather decides to pop up. You know what I mean? You're also going to get access to the exclusive post-show, paid show. Again, patreon.com/MadBash Studios. Here's the thing about Patreon as well, too. Here's another, we didn't talk about this. You can now gift.
We did talk about this.
Did we? I can't remember. You can now gift subscriptions over on Patreon, so that's just the gift that keeps on giving because
Absolutely,
we've got
birthday
hours.
coming up. Gift it. Valentine's Day. Your lover would love a subscription.
Yeah, you need something for the Easter basket?
There you go.
Open it up, and there's a little piece of paper that says, congratulations, you're subscribed to patreon.com.
And you could buy more than 1 month with the gift, can't you?
I'm pretty sure that you can do an annual. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you can do an annual. You can go the $5 or $10 tier. And we offer, like I said, hundreds of hours of content over there, exclusive shows, ad-free shows, early access, behind the scenes, tons of stuff. But that is, of course, not the only way that you can support us. You can also go to madbashstudios.com. There you are going to find links to your favorite podcasting platform. Leave us a 5-star written review. That's really what helps. You can also go to YouTube, MadBash Studios, and I'm going to give you a little life hack right here. I'm just going to unabashedly tell you what you can actually do to support us on YouTube. If you watch one of our videos, watch it all the way through, then watch another one of our videos, then watch at least 3 of our videos in a row. That shows coherent, not coherent is not the word that I'm looking for. I know the word I'm thinking of, but I can't
even think of the word you're thinking of.
I know
right
the
now.
word I'm thinking of. Concurrent views. That shows concurrent views. That's going to favor us more in the algorithm. We, of course, offer
also liking and subscribing.
Liking and subscribing, of course, I was going to get to that.
Spam it with comments, people.
I'm just telling you, like, to put it bluntly, we're just two guys over here trying to make the dream work, and that is going to be the best way that you can do it, is one of the best ways, for free even. Just go on over to YouTube, watch a few of our videos in a row, just put them on in the background, let them play through. That's going to help factor into the algorithm. We got a lot of good wrestling over there. We've got a lot of good non-wrestling content over there, documentaries, yada yada. Speaking of that, it's time for some plug skis. Talking about the YouTube channel, the first episode of MadBash Wrestling Redline is available over there right now. You get to see LDLC versus Colby Jack, Christian Rose versus Clayton Clark, The Luminary versus Chris Cutler, all on the first edition of MadBash Wrestling Redline, as well as Danville Dreamers Chronicles, Dreamin' Ain't Easy, is now available on the YouTube page.
And if you guys want to finish the Danville Dreamers Chronicles, you got to make sure you subscribe to that Patreon page.
Absolutely. Go on over to the Patreon. Curtain Call is exclusively available on Patreon. Never to be made public, at least for the time being. You never know. For the foreseeable future. One day it might come out. We don't know yet. But for right now, the only way to see it is over on the Patreon. And of course, this episode is brought to you by Elite Pro Wrestling and Venom Energy. So there's a lot going on in wrestling right now.
There is a lot.
And one could say that we are, in fact, in a boom period with wrestling. But right now, Clayton Clark, you're live on the Spot Show podcast. How are you?
Oh, shit. I have to completely turn this conversation around then.
Hi, Clayton. How are you?
I'm all right.
This is good to know. We will be giving you a phone call when we are done with the Spot Show podcast.
What's the topic?
We're going to be reviewing Raw from Netflix.
Raw?
Yep, we're going to be talking about, yep, there we go. Okay, there's Clayton Clark. Man, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while since we've had
We were on a
Clayton
lucky
Clark.
streak.
Yeah, we really have been. But anyway, just had to bury the lead right there because I was building into it. We're in a boom period right now, right? Wrestling is arguably the best that it's ever been. And that goes back to what we first talked about on the first episode of Spot Show. We talked about how we are now in the Triple H regime and that was 2 years ago that we had that conversation. So let that sink in. We're coming up on 2 years.
I mean, 2 years ago, though, there also had the Vince comeback, so it kind of got shuffled.
Well, yeah.
But like, I feel like this has been the first year since Vince has got forced out of the company that things are actually starting to like pick up bigger and Triple H's full vision's coming out.
Yeah, and that's what we're here to talk about today. We are here to talk about the Triple H's full vision, I feel like, has officially surfaced. And boy, let me just say this. People are not happy.
No.
And I think that those people that are not happy are 100% wrong. But we're going to get into that. Not that they're wrong, but I think that they are
missing the big picture.
They are missing the bigger picture with things. And we're going to get into that as we run through the discussion of Raw on Netflix. Here is what I think is the biggest deal about Raw on Netflix. Whenever they are on like USA, for example, because that's where they were.
Yeah.
There's that little bit of a crossover of where, you know, you're sitting watching your Law and Order and then you see a commercial for Monday Night Raw and then you're like, oh man, that's pretty cool. I'm going to turn that on. But I feel like with Netflix, it's almost as if they are more entering the zeitgeist of pop culture and by consuming media by just being on Netflix.
And worldwide.
Yes, that's the other big thing about it too, is that granted, there are other, USA is just how
America saw
how America, and I'm pretty sure maybe, I'm going to just say America because I know for a fact.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's like other, and I'm not even going to pretend to imagine what other channels other countries get to watch it on. But with Netflix, Raw is worldwide.
Worldwide and live, no matter where they're at.
Yes, because, you know, I remember years ago, this was years ago, watching one of the Stone Cold documentaries, and they're talking to his daughter that lived in the UK with their mom, and she talks about, oh yeah, we get to watch Raw on Wednesdays. And then if you remember in The Backyard, which is one of my favorite documentaries of all time, we need to do a deep dive on that documentary.
We do.
Day. Yeah, I'm gonna put that on the on.
We need to get the lizard on the podcast.
Yeah, is he still working? Right.
I think so, dude.
As of a few years ago, I remember seeing that he was still working. But anyways, yeah. So they're talking about in The Backyard. They're talking about, oh yeah, we get Raws on. I say Wednesdays. Who knows what day it was? Whatever. The point is, it wasn't live.
Yeah.
But now, wherever you are in the world, if you've got a Netflix account, you can log in and you can watch Raw live. And that's big. That's the first time that's ever happened. And that it's never a bad thing is what I'm meaning to say here.
No.
It's never a bad thing the more eyes that you can get on your product.
I mean, straight out the gate, they've already announced it's the #1 show on Netflix.
Exactly. But I think that there is one problem with this, and I don't think that this is a problem that people are really looking at, but this is a problem that I think about. I know you and I both, we're not really football guys.
Yeah.
But people in my family are football guys, football fans. The problem with the NFL right now is you need essentially every streaming service under
to watch the games you want to watch.
Just to watch the games you want to watch. Thursdays, you got Thursday Night Football on Amazon. Monday Night Football, I believe, can be on like special games, for example, like Peacock had a few special games. There was another streaming service, I believe. Netflix streamed a NFL game. That's what I'm saying.
Christmas Day game.
Yeah, the Christmas Day game. That's what it was. And then I want to say that the Thanksgiving games were on Peacock or something. I don't remember. But it was something, you get the point.
That's a lot of money going out the window.
Yeah. And you're looking at WWE now. If you want to watch NXT, you of course need cable to get CW. You need cable to get
USA
for SmackDown. Or no, they're on Fox still, right?
No, they're moved to USA.
They moved to USA?
Yeah.
My bad. And then now you, of course, need Peacock if you want to watch
the PLEs.
The PLEs and the back catalog. And then you go to Netflix, and then now you need that to watch Raw. So it's like it's becoming too complicated almost. But it's just the next evolution of how it was back in the day.
I saw an interview on a YouTube where Triple H was talking about the whole Peacock thing. And he's like, yeah, our contract's up after WrestleMania with Peacock. He goes, yes, we're going to consider them being a heavy contender, but he's like, think about it. Nobody says I want a CBS and chill.
Yeah.
So I think they are going to be, in fact, moving the PLEs to Netflix.
And we've already seen episodes of Raw that are on Netflix.
Yes.
Only select years, I've noticed. But that's what made it... I hate to be one of those guys, but... makes you miss network, doesn't it?
I loved network, dude.
I loved it. I hated it the first couple of years because it was atrocious.
To like navigate and shit?
To navigate, the streaming was piss poor, but then it got better. And then finding out
I think when it was at its peak is when they shifted it to Peacock, and it pissed me off so bad.
It was annoying. So annoying. I loved network, man. And I know that overseas they still have network. As far as I know,
Network's dead.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Yep.
I feel like that they had gotten rid of it. And to have it all in one central location, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about the money, you know?
Yeah,
it's all about
man.
the money. And that is, but to go back to what I was saying is that it's just another way of how it was. Because... you had Raw on USA, or Spike at the time. It went to Spike, and then you would have SmackDown on this. So you definitely would need multiple channels. to watch the wrestling that you wanted to watch. On top of, you would then have to buy pay-per-views.
On top of, some cable providers didn't even carry UPN when SmackDown launched, like our lovely hometown. We missed out for like 5 years.
To paraphrase what Jason V once told me, SmackDown from 99 to about 06 just doesn't exist for me.
Yes.
It just never existed. We would always hear about SmackDown, and we would always especially big time when they did the brand split. Because that's when I really got back into wrestling. We've talked about my brief period where I wasn't watching wrestling, and then I got back in at the end of 01. The first Raw that I watched coming back into wrestling was when Triple H returned, which if we ever want to go back and do another review show, that would be a fun one to watch, just to kind of see where things are now, especially because of how prevalent Triple H is right now. But we never got SmackDown.
Is it crazy to think, because this just popped in my head, I played the SmackDown video game without even watching a single episode of SmackDown.
You think you're alone? A lot of people did. And I believe it was 06 or 07 when they jumped to Sci-Fi, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
It was right after ECW.
Because ECW was on Sci-Fi, yeah. Yep. And then they moved to the Friday night slot. And then, because SmackDown was always taped on Tuesdays.
Yes.
And then once ECW came around is when they started doing it live.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking of here. So anyways, my point with this is that you would definitely have to seek other avenues in order to stay consistent. And I really, to go back even further, because the point I was going to make is that I didn't even really know much about SmackDown until the brand split, because that's when I was getting back into it. And then I'm seeing all these guys that I would love to see, they're on SmackDown now, especially like in 03, because like I wanted to watch Brock and Kurt and the
You'd
SmackDown
have to go to live
6.
events just to see them in certain areas.
And it was weird. It felt like you were walking into a movie midway through.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, I was a big Kennedy fan, but he was always on SmackDown. So I never got to watch
SmackDown
him.
Edge. SmackDown was the underground secret of the WWE in most markets.
Honestly, yeah. And the point being now is that it's become so accessible. And I'm not even going to say it's to the detriment of it, but it's, I don't like how you have to have all these streaming services in order to just watch what you want to watch. That's my gripe with football, and I feel like that's going to be my gripe with
I could see WWE
wrestling.
being like that, like SmackDown moving to Peacock only, NXT moving to like HBO Max only, something like that.
Well, no, Max is AEW.
Yeah, that's true.
They've got AEW.
But you guarantee if WWE is like, hey, Max, you want to pick us up? They do it in a fucking heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. It goes back to the old ECW thing of where ECW was pretty much just a trial to see if wrestling would work on TNN. And then they dropped ECW and then picked up Raw the next week. Yeah. So that's what I think is in the long run going to be annoying, because like, my mom was over at my house yesterday and she was like, oh, you don't have TV, do you? And by that, she means cable or satellite. And it was like, no, I've just got streaming services.
That's all you need anymore, though.
That's all you need. That's really all you need. Like, I don't, the equivalent of channel surfing is now just getting on, you've got YouTube brought up on your TV right now.
Yeah.
Just scroll through YouTube and find a video, or just scroll through any of your,
YouTube is so much better than cable. Like, if we had this access when we were kids, like, this would have been amazing.
Especially when you have YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When you have YouTube Premium, it pisses you off when you go to someone and they don't have YouTube Premium. Because
ads are horrible.
Because I can't tell you how many times Dalton has been like, yeah, let me play this song for you off YouTube. We got to sit through an ad. And it's like, I'm so spoiled. I just want to go on record and say right now that YouTube Premium might be the best streaming service.
Really?
And it's not even that it's a streaming service, it's a benefit.
Yes.
But so yeah, that's the thing is I for the longest time have not watched Raw live.
Neither.
For after WrestleMania, I signed up for one of the live TV streaming services for maybe a couple of months because I was like, I'm going to watch it live. And then I didn't. So that's why it's great with Netflix. I already have Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn it on and watch Raw when I want to. You know, doesn't mean I got to watch it
Which
live.
benefits a lot of people.
It really does. It truly, truly does. And, you know, streaming, we've pretty much proven right now that streaming is more widely available than cable or satellite.
Absolutely. So when we break out this Raw, what were your expectations going into it?
Okay, that's a good little segue into it. My expectations, I feel, were met.
They were met.
They were met. And I don't think that I had crazy over-the-top expectations. I knew what to expect. I knew what it was going to be. I knew that it was going to be promos, and I knew that it was going to be promotion, and I knew that we were going to get some big matches. And I'm not going to get into the matches yet because I want to step by step actually talk about the matches. And which, by the way, this is something new that we're kind of doing where we're like giving our thoughts on the current product that we just watched. We rarely ever do that.
I don't think we've ever done this.
I think we're stealing from Jumping the Rail right now.
Shout out to those guys.
Shout out to them. Go support them on Patreon. Gift someone a subscription to theirs. But yeah. Where was I going with this? Yeah, my expectations were met. And I don't think that I set any expectations. I just knew what to expect.
You couldn't go into this expecting Mania quality.
No, and I think that some people were.
Absolutely. Like, everyone thought it was going to be like this super show that was like just bell to bell wrestling and excitement, and not what it needed to be. Because that Raw to me was exactly what it needed to be. Because they weren't just catering to the average wrestling fan base. They were catering to draw a new fan base in with it, and I think they did that.
That's exactly what that Raw was meant to be. I agree with you wholeheartedly. That first Raw, they threw out their heavy hitters so that they could hook people. So that because they knew that they were having a wider audience. They knew that someone that typically might not watch Raw
would be tuning in,
going through Netflix and saying, oh, okay, I'll turn this on. I haven't watched WWE in 15
since the 80s. Oh, we got something for that. Since the 90s. Oh, we got something for that. Since the Ruthless Aggression era. Oh, we got something for that. Let's bring all these people who left back. Let's bring all these people who never laid eyes on the product in.
You're going to see it happen more, of where wrestling is going to be entering back into pop culture more. And we've already seen it.
With that first Raw, dude.
Yeah.
Like, they spent, I want to say, a good 45 minutes just going through the crowd and showing what celebrities were there and giving the celebrities their 10 seconds to show up and show off.
You know, normally when you say numbers, you always greatly exaggerate them.
But I don't think I'm wrong on this one.
It obviously wasn't 45 minutes, but it was a pretty substantial amount of time. But here's where they were also smart with that. They showed off celebrities that were in the crowd, but were also showing off
their talent.
Yes. So that people could get familiar with them. And they would be like, oh, that's Rey Mysterio. I remember him from,
WCW.
From WCW 15, 20, 25 years ago.
He's still in this?
Who is this Dakota Kai? She's challenging for a title? Okay, cool. The same concept, which, by the way, if Dakota Kai does not win that women's IC title, we riot. We stand Dakota Kai in this household. And, you saw the crossover because Gabriel Iglesias had a Netflix special coming out literally the next day. So let's get him on there to scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Where his shirt though was so fucking ugly.
He is don't even get me. I'm going to tell you, he is a terrible. He's not my kind of comedian. He's what I like to call a mainstream comedian, where he's not. I don't know. I
respect him, but at the same time, his jokes are the same thing on repeat.
That's what I'm saying. Mazel tov for him for being successful, but it's just like, hey, I'm fluffy.
Yeah.
It's just like that's literally all his jokes are. Literally, just like how Kevin Hart's is like, hey, I'm short. Or
like Jeff Dunham.
Yes. You know who?
What are we doing?
What are we doing? Let me tell you right now, I should have been on that episode of Raw. Frankie, the fry cook.
Little known fact, I almost ended up on that episode of Raw.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I wrote an essay in high school.
I forgot about that bit. Did I ever this? Okay, so you've started that bit without me even like realizing it. Truly, you had already graduated, but there was a thing. It was for WrestleMania 26 where you could write an essay and you could go to WrestleMania 26.
Did you win?
No, I entered it though. I absolutely entered it though. Didn't win because why would someone from our school win it? You know, just a little podunk town. But yeah, so people, this is what's funny about how you said that it wasn't WrestleMania quality, because it wasn't. But you know what WrestleMania it was? WrestleMania 1.
Yes.
The pop culture crossover.
Yep.
And I think if more people look at it in that way, they would realize. We're getting close to the ad break. We've got about 5 minutes, so I don't know how deep I want to really get into the discussion, so I don't have to stop it. So let's just have this discussion, and then we'll get into like actually our thoughts on the show. What do you think? And granted, I mean, we're probably going to go over on time anyway. I'll just throw the ads in. What do you think about the people that were complaining about how there were only 4 matches and nothing else?
I mean, yeah, almost 3.5 hours for 4 matches, but you got to look at the quality over quantity.
I looked at the clock. I don't think Tribal Combat started until 8:30. I think we were 30 minutes into the show. We had the Triple H segment, we had the Rock segment, then we had Tribal Combat. Here's what this is what's happened. This is what's wrong. And I think that this is going to be a little bit of a detriment, not necessarily to Raw, but to people's perception of Raw going forward. That wasn't an episode of Raw.
No.
That was a premium live event.
Yeah.
And if you remember back in the day...
Do I get points for that?
No. Sure, Raw had a bunch of matches, but the Raw going into WrestleMania 14, or one of them, and I know this because I recently years ago went back and watched the Attitude Era, and I watched it through to like Backlash maybe, and then stopped. Up until the start of the Corporate Dude Love story is around the time that I stopped. For no reason other than I just got bored. The Raw, no, I'll tell you that it's the Raw where Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie got pushed off the stage in the dumpster. I was at that Raw, one of my favorite Raws of all time. The main event that night was Stone Cold versus Road Dogg. And that match went 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Something like that. Something stupid. It was a schmoz. But also on that card, you had a lot of other matches. You had, this is the only match that sticks out to me for some reason. You had the NWA, which I believe it was the Rock and Roll Express, versus
the new Midnight Express,
versus Bradshaw with a mystery partner, and the mystery partner was Barry Windham, And then he turned on Bradshaw and joined the NWA, if I remember right. I could be getting all of this wrong. I don't remember. But the point is, like, the matches that we got were not pay-per-view matches.
Nope.
Let's go back to, for those of you on the Patreon, we just recently, for Untitled Wrestling Commentary, we did a match that was Terry Funk and Too Cold Scorpio versus the Headbangers. What was that, 5 minutes?
That was like 10 minutes of just fighting outside.
It was 5 minutes and then of an actual match. And then another 5 minutes of them just doing dive spots on the outside. And that's the point. Those are the matches that you get on Raw. Those are the matches you are supposed to get on Raw.
I look at it this way. This episode of Raw was the rebranding of the story.
Yes.
This episode of Raw set the stage for the road to WrestleMania. This episode of Raw introduced all the key characters it needed to introduce for the new general audience to get hooked on.
The pop culture crossover.
Yes.
Because,
like Oliver Kane says, I'm not going to quote him because I forget it all the time, but it's not history repeating itself. Sometimes it mirrors itself or whatever.
History doesn't repeat itself, but sometimes it rhymes.
Yes.
But what is yes, I agree with you 100% on that. And the thing is, if you throw out fucking, I don't know, American Alpha versus fucking the Wyatt Six or something, just randomly out there for a random 6-minute tag match, that's not going to draw your people.
No.
That's what I'm saying here, is that I'm sure in time we're going to be getting that. But the problem is that we have become spoiled by, we were expecting, okay, it was only 4 matches. But you also need to take into consideration, this is an episode of Raw.
Yes.
Those matches, for what they were
PLE matches.
PLE quality matches, with the exception of one. I'll tell you which one I did not like when we get to it. But that's what I'm getting at here, is that what would you rather have? Quantity or quality? Because you cannot have both.
It depends if you're asking a real wrestling fan or an AEW wrestling fan.
Yeah. And yes, and we've been spoiled by that. We expect to go into Dynamite and there's like 15 matches.
Yes.
It's crazy. But, so, to put it bluntly, I had no problem with this Raw. I thought it was fine.
Even for all the promo and all the talking and all the advertising, it did not feel like you were sitting there for 3.5 hours.
No.
It flowed greatly.
Yeah.
So I want to give them big shout outs for that.
And you know, we were all watching it together. We were texting in the group chat.
Mm-hmm.
All of us just kind of giving our thoughts on the show. Some of us were about 5 minutes behind on the conversation, which is
had a lot going on, brother.
And yeah, for the most part, I think it was a really good Raw, but we're going to get into our specific thoughts on it after we hear a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Elite Pro Wrestling. We all love live entertainment, right? We all love live wrestling, right? Well, what if I told you that there is a place that combines the entertainment and the wrestling live that we all love? Look no further than Elite Pro Wrestling. Whether it's in person in Odin, Indiana, or Washington, Indiana, or if you check them out on YouTube, Elite Pro Wrestling guarantees a quality show that allows them to live up to the name Elite. If you're feeling generous, go ahead and check them out on Patreon as well. If you back them, you're going to get early access to all of their shows before they hit YouTube. Again, check out EliteProfessionalWrestling.com. This episode is brought to you by Venom Energy. Hey, we've all been there, and there's nothing wrong with admitting to it. Well, what I mean is that we've all hit that midday slump, and we all need a little push to get us through the rest of the day. Well, what better option to give you a pick-me-up than one of the wonderful flavors of Venom Energy? Venom is what gets MadBash through those long show days, and we know that it can do the same for you. I'm going to sweeten the pot a little bit for you, too. Yeah, come to our merch table when you see us at a show, and with the purchase of a MadBash Wrestling sticker or magnet, you get a Venom Energy drink on us. While supplies last, of course, so you better act quick. We'd like to thank Venom again for sponsoring this episode. Please consume responsibly. Not recommended for children under 18, pregnant or nursing women, or people sensitive to caffeine. Raw opens up with one of the damnedest things I've ever seen. This dope-ass curtain draped over the ring, and they're playing a video on it. And the hell happened there?
Light turned on.
Is your house haunted?
I guess so.
One of Madrox's lights just randomly turned on in his house. What is going on here? That's crazy. But yeah, so it opens with this video package, and boy, were there some things said in this video package that I think need to be talked about, but not in the way that you think
they need to be talked about.
They need to be talked about because people were pissed. Triple H just openly dropping insider terms, openly saying babyface,
Openly heel.
over, under, work, shoot. Guys, Triple H said it best in that after show press conference. We know what it is. We know what wrestling is. So why pretend like we don't?
Why would we sit here and assault your integrity and intelligence?
Okay, that's literally what Vince said. That's literally what Vince McMahon said.
History's repeating itself.
Yep.
It's a new fucking era. Like, it's just crazy to think, like, watching that and, like, going back to, like, when I first started watching wrestling, like, I didn't know what the fuck a heel or a babyface was.
But they're doing it because if you remember, we shit all over WCW 2000 when they were like ham-handedly forcing in insider terms and stuff. But it's different because they were, again, ham-handedly forcing them in, whereas this one felt very
organic
and natural.
Yes.
Felt so much more organic and natural. And, you know, kayfabe is not dead. I do not believe kayfabe is dead. There's a new kayfabe. There is a new kayfabe out there.
K matured.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then, you know, we go into, and we're not going to segment by segment talk about this show, but then we go
like,
in.
Dude, before you get past that,
yeah,
like that opening scene with the fucking 360 shots at the 360 displayed arena. Oh my God.
Those
Cinematic magic.
Those drone shots. Crazy.
Yes.
Crazy. It reminded me a lot of Curtain Call, where Danville Dreamers Chronicles Curtain Call, now available on patreon.com/MadBash Studios, where there's like these big one shots. And like it literally was a drone flying from outside into the arena and then into the main concourse and then into the stage. But and that's where I'm saying is that Raw starting to feel like a fucking PLE. And I think that people are expecting it to be a PLE.
I don't even consider it a PLE. I consider Raw a cinematic movie now.
But you shouldn't. Oh, good. I like that. But you also shouldn't consider it a PLE because guess what, Madrox? It's not a PLE.
Nope.
Every week is going to be like this. There's going to be a small amount of matches, and there's going to be a lot of talking, and there's going to be a lot of pomp and circumstance.
Especially on the build-up to Mania.
Especially on the build-up to any PLE, to be honest with you.
That's not true. Sometimes they get bored and just throw shit at the wall.
Any of the big four.
Yeah.
Any of the big four.
Yes.
But right now,
because you need that.
Right now, we're in Royal Rumble season, so we got to throw the... But there were some things about this Raw that openly confused me because I would have swore that weren't there more matches advertised?
There was.
They just cut them?
There was Rey Mysterio and his mystery partner versus the New Day.
Ooh, I wonder who the mystery partner is going to be.
That kind of sucks for that mystery partner, though. Could have went from debuting in front of 17,000 people on the debut episode to Chad Gable the next week.
Yeah. What was the attendance? It was like 17,000. Was it something like that? Yeah. Have I talked about how I'm just not a Penta fan on here before?
I don't think so.
I just don't like Pentagon.
I love Penta. Vampiro put him over, so he's good in my book.
That's why I knew that's what you were going to say. That's the only thing Pentagon has done that I've enjoyed, but I just don't like Pentagon. I never have.
I don't think AEW really capitalized on him in his storytelling aspect.
Yeah,
because they always just stuck him in the Lucha Brothers, and
they would always just put him in Young Bucks matches.
Yes.
And yeah, that I get. I don't know. I'm curious to see what WWE does with him, but I'm not a Penta
pretty
fan.
excited for this Chad Gable match because I know both those guys can fucking go.
They're gonna go. If they don't give them 15 to 20, they're foolish because that's what they would need. And then The Rock comes out. This is after the Triple H segment, of course.
Complete fucking face turn.
Complete face turn. And, yeah, I don't know really what to take away from that one, but that's what you needed to do. That's why they had The Rock come, or here's why, rather, they had The Rock come out. Because you needed that. Because who is a bigger crossover star in the world of professional wrestling right now than The Rock?
Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin, God damn it, you got me there. You've got me there.
No, but like they needed The Rock. He set the tone for the show, and not only that, he went out there for the face turn. He put over the biggest champion WWE has right now, and introduced him to a new audience. That's what that whole segment was fucking about in my book.
Pretty much what The Rock's goal on this show was. I'm going to come out and explain to you who the people that you should give a fuck about are.
Yes.
He did it with Cody and he did it with Roman.
Yes.
And they used The Rock perfectly on this, I think. This is what The Rock needs to be.
The Rock could have been selfish as fuck out there.
Yes.
And he chose, I don't know if he chose it or who chose it, but kudos to putting the other guys over.
And I did not get to watch NXT, so I don't know what he did on NXT.
He put fucking Ethan Page over, brother. That's all you need to know.
He gave him the sportsman slap on the ass.
Yeah.
And imagine being Ethan Page, who he's always been compared to The Rock, right? Like
he idolized The Rock.
Yeah. And there was to get to do that promo with The Rock, and it's just like, my Lord, imagine that. That's got to be a full circle moment for him. But yeah, they used The Rock perfectly. I thought they used The Rock perfectly. I have no complaints about the way that The Rock, because we have all seen.
One complaint.
Go on.
That new Screech Samoan shit he's been trying to get over.
Oh yeah. I also don't like his belt, his fake belt that he doesn't defend.
The People's Championship.
Yeah, that was given to him by the family of
Muhammad Ali.
But
I highly doubt that.
But it's got a Brahma bull on it. Yeah, because we've all seen the WrestleMania documentary where The Rock is just an undying douche in that whole documentary. This is The Rock that we needed, though. And let's also talk about The Rock promoting drinking and driving, because he always just takes a big swig of his Terramana.
And then just drives away.
He's
the Dalton Davis of the big time.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Damn, that's good shit. Like, I do love The Rock, though. I love him. But, yeah, I don't know. His final boss character, to me, this is just the evolution of the final boss.
Yeah.
Because I think he's still going to be in that way. So, then the Tribal Combat match. Tribal Combat match was good. I really enjoyed, I think, the best match of the night. It's a tie between the women's title and Punk and Rollins. Punk and Rollins felt like a video game match.
It did.
And that they just kept spamming finishers. And I know people were complaining about that a lot too, but just shut up and just watch wrestling.
I mean, I complained a little bit about the whole Super Punk because...
Yeah, they did make him Super Punk.
It made me have horrible flashbacks to the Triple H reign of terror and the John Cena reign. I was like, oh no, please don't go here again.
Punk's not going to be the type to have a reign of terror, though.
Yeah.
They're not going to give that to him.
I hope to God not.
Yeah, they won't. My Lord.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room real quick?
That Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre was fucking abysmal.
Every Jey Uso match, unless it's against Roman, I cannot stand. I've never seen a good Jey Uso match.
I haven't either.
Anyone. The one.
Hang on, time out. Singles Jey Uso match.
Singles.
I don't think Jey Uso is good. I'm sorry.
He's a gimmick.
He's got a catchphrase. He's a catchphrase wrestler. What we doing? Let me tell you. Uso, let me tell you. Jey Uso is a gimmick wrestler. That's all he's going to be.
Yep.
He's not good. I'm sorry. Like, can we stop pretending that Jey Uso is a good wrestler? He's not. He's over because of a catchphrase.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that, The Rock is a catchphrase wrestler, but he's also a good worker. Daniel Bryan got over because of a catchphrase, but he's also a good worker. I'm sorry, Jey Uso throws the worst super kick I've ever seen.
That bent knee, baby.
That bent knee super kick, he is just bland. I'm sorry. You take away the yeet and the dance and everything. It's just me. You take that whole thing away.
He's got nothing to stand on.
He's vanilla. And even Drew McIntyre couldn't get a good match out of it.
And you could see the frustration on Drew's face.
Drew McIntyre is one of the unsung heroes of WWE right now. I'm a huge Drew McIntyre fan. I have been a Drew McIntyre fan since the Chosen One era. And he can get a good match out of just about anybody.
Except Jey Uso.
Jey Uso, let's just address that elephant in the room. We need to get that out of the way. Jey Uso is not a good wrestler. And if you say that Jey Uso is your favorite wrestler, he's not your favorite wrestler. You like him because of the yeet and because of the now he's a good entertainer.
Yeah.
I'll give that to him.
Hell of an entertainer.
Name a good Jey Uso singles match other than Roman Reigns.
You can't.
Can't do it.
Cannot do it.
Now,
oh yeah, him and Jimmy at WrestleMania.
Oh my God!
Fire.
Now, him, the Usos versus the Wyatts, incredible.
Yeah,
but again, tag match. Tons of tag matches that he's been in.
The Usos versus the New Day. That whole feud.
Yeah,
fire.
Usos in the New Day. Usos versus the Bloodline Civil War with the Usos versus Roman and Solo.
Yeah.
Solo Sikoa is a better singles wrestler than Jey Uso.
I love Solo.
I love Solo Sikoa.
I don't see why everyone shits on Solo so much.
Solo Sikoa was so good in that tribal combat match.
He lost, yes, but that proved that he is a main event caliber person and can do any fucking thing.
Yep.
That match did what it needed to do for Solo.
But here's the thing, that story is not over.
Not at all.
Story is nowhere near over. There's going to be more to it. I guarantee it.
Now, the other elephant on this show.
Yes.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh.
I'm not saying it's his fault. But
no, it's his fault.
No, I'm saying, but there is a coincidence. Hulk Hogan comes out and gets booed to hell, and then LA catches fire the next night.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about the reason it's not his fault he got booed, because it is very much his fault that he got booed. I've seen a couple tapes and I've heard a couple voicemails.
I could see him being so fucking pissed off. I'm setting this town on fire, brother.
Now hold on, dude. I'm gonna atomic leg drop on the town right now, and I'm gonna cause these wildfires.
Damn it, Jimmy, they're booing you out there, buddy.
Did you see there was he just throw Jimmy Hart under the bus.
I can't believe they're talking to Jimmy Hart like that, dude.
Did you see there was a reporter doing news coverage of the LA fires, and they're talking to this guy, and he asks him, he says, "I'm sorry, can I get your name, sir?" It was Steve Guttenberg.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't know that he was talking to the actor Steve Guttenberg. It's like, have you never seen, like, what? I love it. But anyway, it's a little, I saw that video today and it really made me laugh. But yeah.
Good on LA though. Hogan deserved that.
He did.
Reaction.
He
for
did.
So
Can we
many
just
years.
move on from Hogan?
No,
like,
brother.
No, yeah. Now hold on, dude. Why are you wanting to move on from me? And
hold on, dude. Me and Elvis sold this stadium out in '94, brother. And you're out here booing me?
If you want to know our true thoughts about Hulk Hogan, listen to the
latest Jay Silva episode.
the last Jay Silva podcast, which he and I may or may not be in talks about. We'll leave that there. But yeah, they booed him out of the fucking building. And I think naturally the reason they did it is because he has said some very racist and bigoted things.
The lies.
But I mean, that takes second fiddle. The lies you can laugh at.
Yeah.
But when he's going out of his way and like saying the shit that he was like, it's pretty fucking rough. So at this point, Hogan's a meme. You know, I just think that they need to learn to just keep, like, you can keep the Real American Beer sponsorship. And
just distance yourself from fucking Hogan.
Just distance yourself from him. And I still think that it is fine that we can still separate the art from the artist. If you want to be a Hulk Hogan fan, then you can go to his meet and greets and meet him. But that proved right there that, and you could tell that he was pissed. Like when he walked off, you could tell that he was mad.
Yeah, Jimmy, man, it was all Jimmy Hart's fault.
I think
He wouldn't wave the flag fast enough, brother.
I don't understand why there was so much fucking heat on Jimmy Hart. But yeah, Hogan. But let's talk about some other heat that happened on this show. That Michael Madrox, I've been watching wrestling conservatively for roughly 30 years. When I tell you that this is my favorite moment in the history of professional wrestling, I want you to believe me.
Okay.
Travis Scott.
You be walking to the ring smoking a blunt?
Why?
Viral all over the internet, brother.
The greatest thing I've ever seen in my 30 years of watching wrestling.
You know, Minion and The Godfather are watching that shit, and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, God damn it. Yeah, and then Bronson Reed said, okay, cool, but I want to do that when I come back. Dude, that was the greatest fucking thing. And he just did not fucking care. He had that new replica hardcore title that Triple H gave him.
I actually enjoy that belt.
Why do we not have it on TV?
Oh,
Put
that
it on
would have
TV.
been great. Like, fucking R-Truth come out there and rolled him up. 24/7, real brother.
Oh, man, I love it. Yeah, that is my biggest takeaway. It reminds me of a meme of whenever they did the Super Bowl halftime show, and it was like the West Coast rappers.
Yeah.
It was like Dre, Snoop Dogg, and it was like, photo shows Snoop Dogg smoking weed before going on stage, and then someone retweeted it and said, y'all knew who you signed up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was the only good thing about that match. About that Jey Uso, Drew
You notice how many
McIntyre.
people were in Travis Scott sneakers for the night, right?
Yeah. Dominic always wears the Travis Scotts.
He does.
Yeah, I think he had the olives.
The mid-olives.
Yeah,
yep.
the mid-olives. Yeah, and then Kofi has wrestled in the mochas.
I think Kofi's worked where the Phantoms and worked in too.
Yeah.
Speaking of kicks, Roman Reigns, Kobe's Customs.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Or are we just naming shoes?
Yes,
now?
we are. That's what we're doing.
It's a little insider thing there. That's a deep cut. Only like 3 people are going to get that. Yeah, that. I don't know how I feel. Like, just wear boots. Just wear boots, guys. Like, what are we doing?
You're stepping the shoe game up, brother.
Yeah, I know.
Then you got these guys on the Indies coming out there in Jordans. They can't even fucking keep them tied on their foot during their match.
Yeah, that did happen. That did happen on a match that we called. They were pandas.
That's the problem.
So Punk and Rollins was, I don't know, Liv and Rhea was fucking incredible.
I think I'm going to give Liv and Rhea the match of the night.
I want to, but I don't know if I can.
Punk and Rollins was good, but I think it was missing the big fight feel. Like you said, it was a video game match.
Yes.
It was not the fight that we all wanted.
Yeah, Punk broke his nose, didn't he?
I have no idea.
Looked like it. Fucking looked like he caught a knee right to the face.
I know Rollins had that gash under his eye.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when we
it.
got Drew and Punk after all this bullshit, that was a fight feel.
Yeah.
And
which I think Hell in a Cell was match of the year.
This match has been building up since Punk's return. Like the moment he walked out of War Games.
2 years.
Yes. Like, and
well, at this point, a year. Well, yeah, 2 years. It'd be 2 years.
It just didn't have that actual, like, I want to fight you feel. That's why it lost points for me.
Yeah.
Plus, seeing Dominic get kicked in the dick was a highlight for me.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, and then you had The Undertaker coming out with Rhea. I thought that was pretty cool. But let's talk about this. I think the biggest takeaway from the Raw, John Cena's winning the Royal Rumble, dude.
I hope not.
No, I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it?
I'm okay with it because I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna unabashedly be cheering for Cena. I do not care.
You gonna wear your spinner belt?
Ooh, the U.S. spinner belt?
Yeah, brother.
Might need to.
You do.
Might need to. I don't have any John Cena shirts.
You
though.
can call Travis. I'm sure he's got some from the family pictures.
Have we talked about that before, right?
I think so.
It's my favorite thing ever. It's Travis Weir went and did a photo shoot with his family, and they're all wearing the purple and yellow John Cena shirts. Oh, it's the best. That's his contact icon in my phone is to zoom in on his face. Yeah, I think that we're really it's weird because like we grew up on Cena and now he's done, man.
Not yet. We still got a year left of him.
Well, he's done.
Yeah.
I mean, like he's on the retirement tour, and I think he wins Rumble. I think he faces Cody, and I think he breaks the record.
Cena's on his retirement tour, and then so many people announce their retirement tours. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
For sure.
Cena did come out to the ring, though, and he said it's all about making moments, and that's what you got to take away from it.
Yeah, which is my favorite line of the entire Raw. But, yeah, I think that, I think it's blatantly obvious Cena's going to win the Rumble. If he doesn't win the Rumble, then he's winning Elimination Chamber, and then he goes on to Mania.
I don't see Cena getting the championship.
Really?
I don't. I think Cena loves the business too much to understand, because he had a big problem when The Rock came back as a part-timer. Just to get the championship.
Fair.
I think Cena loves the business so much he doesn't want to do that.
But at the same time, I mean, Cena is obviously going to be able to get away with whatever the fuck he wants to get away with. But
Yeah.
I think they're going to want him to break the record.
You think so?
Yeah, I
don't know. Bronson Reed's been calling out Ric Flair on Twitter.
Yeah,
so.
he has. Bronson Reed's been calling out everybody on Twitter.
Troll Bronson Reed is goated.
Yeah, I want him back. I want him back. I hate that he got hurt. Yeah, I think the Cena thing, it's like you're going to see a lot of grown men like start to cry a little bit because like of what Cena means to us. And,
Who do you think's going to be the last match?
See, that's where
Is he going to give the rub to somebody new?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Or is it going to be somebody from his past?
Does he give the rub, or does he? If it's someone from his past, it's got to be Orton.
Yes.
It's got to be Orton. If it's someone that he gives the rub to,
I mean, like he said, he hasn't won a match in 2,000 and some days. He's already given...
Which that math does not... That math doesn't seem like it's mathing.
It's legit, though.
When was the Saudi match with Solo?
Solo went over.
Well, I know, but still, yeah, when was it?
2-3 years ago?
There is no... That math, like, I believe it, but 2,000 days is a fucking lot. Let me get on his cage match.
Pull it up and find it all
Because
out.
I want to know what his...
You gotta think, 2020 was his last match for so many years. Until the Solo match, wasn't it? The Firefly Funhouse match?
Yes. Oh, no, he's lying.
Is he?
Yes. Oh, maybe he means first singles win. No, because there he's lying. He made that up. Dude, he beat fucking... Him and LA Knight beat the Bloodline at Fastlane in 03 or 23. Dude, he's lying. Yeah. Him and Kevin Owens beat the Blood... Not he...
Maybe he meant singles.
No, because even then there was some singles matches in there too. Yeah, he's lying. He's making that up. He's adding to the magnitude of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that in my prediction, and even though I just sat here and said that I think Cena's going to win the Rumble, that's what I think is going to happen. Is that, again, that's what I think. Does that mean that's what's going to happen?
No.
What I could see happening, though, it's essentially the same story that we got with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, where Michaels knew that he had to win that Rumble, and so that he could get it, which is one of the best highlight packages of all time. Going into the retirement match against Taker.
One of the best, not the best.
Let's have that conversation on Paid Ski, because I've been thinking about this lately. Yeah, I think that Cena maybe comes down to the final two, doesn't win, goes on to Elimination Chamber, and maybe wins Elimination Chamber. Because, like, everything that Cena does now is going to be his last. This is going to be his last Rumble, his last Chamber, his last Mania, his last this, his last that.
Do you think his wallet hurt when he announced this was his last Rumble? And then they announced they're going to Saudi next year for the Rumble?
Oof. Imagine the payday that he could have got.
You know that payday is bigger than any Rumble in America.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. People are pissed about that too.
Yes, they are.
I mean, I don't want to get into politics of it because that's what a lot of it comes down to. But yeah,
everyone's pissed about everything instead of sitting back and enjoying it.
Yeah, just sit back and enjoy wrestling, guys. It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Who was your most shocking celebrity to see in the crowd?
Honestly, not even Nikki Bella was a weird one to see. I didn't think we'd see her, especially after all the John Cena, like, because of them.
Yeah.
And then she had all her shit happen with that Arnhem that she was with.
Yep.
And then it was weird to see her by herself.
Her stepdad.
Yeah. It was. Oh yeah. Especially with her father-in-law. Yeah. Yeah. That was weird.
I thought Ashton was weird.
Yeah.
I haven't seen or heard from him in years, and he's just sitting there on Raw.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this punked?
Yeah, they really did pull out all the stops. We got Ashton Kutcher. So yeah, what's your overall takeaway from the Raw? You looking forward to the Netflix era? Or
I'm excited to see where we go from here.
I think I am too, and I think that's what a lot of people need to really take into consideration is that, forest for the trees situation. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think that if we look at what this is going to mean for the future of Raw, this Raw didn't necessarily need to be a banger. Which it was, but let's look at the future. This is setting the groundwork for what we're going to get.
I'm going to throw you up my rating, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 5-star.
5-star Raw?
Because it gave everything it needed to do.
I'm going to give it a 4.
You're going to give it a 4?
I'm going to give it a 4. I'm going to give it a 4 because mostly it hurt itself presenting itself as a premium live event, even though it needed to, which I'm kind of a hypocrite for that. But I give it a 4. It didn't quite make a 5, but it gets a 4 for me.
Give it a 5 in my -7 moment of the night. Hulk Hogan.
Ooh, the -7 of the night was it's Hogan. I would say that it was Uso and Drew McIntyre, but no, it was Hogan. It had to be Hogan. But well, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and hop off here. You heard us just say here on Paid Show, we're going to talk about some of our favorite video packages that we've seen in the history of wrestling. And yeah, that's going to be a fun little discussion. You can, of course, if you're on Patreon, you can listen to that. Don't forget, you can gift Patreon subscriptions now. That's pretty fucking cool that you can do that. And of course, sign up for yourself. You know what I mean? So that you can share.
Gift yourself something.
Yeah, gift yourself something. You deserve.
Take care of yourself.
Oh yeah, treat yourself. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get off here. You can, of course, find me on Instagram at DW_MischievousRabbit. You can find Madrox on Instagram at the word 1 and then the numbers 900 909 9900, which I still say is the greatest Instagram username.
I wonder how many people even know what that means.
Not many, because a few people, when you first did that, called me, "What the fuck is you doing?" And I was like, dude, you don't know. yeah, we're going to go ahead and get off here. And for those of you on Patreon, we'll see you on paid show. But the rest of you, we'll see you down the road on some form of content.